What we're experiencing right now is another set of psychological barriers that I think are going to prevent people from getting the best out of this market. We're looking at the first real pullback, the first real instability that we've had since we've bounced off of the 29K spring at the bottom of this recent correction. And so the question is, are we in this bear trap territory or bull trap territory? And is this just a big fake out to get us to FOMO one last time? Well, I believe if you look at the charts, you'll see that these do not resemble the charts from 2018, which is of course where we all have PTSD from that bear market. This doesn't look anything like that. The bounce above the 42K resistance was a huge step. I do not believe personally that this is a bull trap, though anything's possible. I'm allocating really aggressively to the areas that I think are the most underdeveloped and destined for absolute prime time growth to be dominant parts of this crypto ecosystem. The lower we go on this dip, if it does continue to dip, because it seemed to bounce pretty aggressively over the last few minutes, the reality is if this goes down to the low 40s, that is a blessing. Because the reality is, in my opinion, we have a 6-figure Bitcoin and a 5-figure Ethereum, and in my opinion, all of these L1s are going to absolutely rocket. But the thing that I'm most excited about is, of course, the growth of NFTs as an asset class, because this asset class was almost non-existent just a few weeks or months ago. It was just at the very best an experiment. Now people are legitimately allocating as a percentage of their portfolios. We have publicly traded companies like Visa and Budweiser buying NFTs. This is a world's first. And so you see the actual ability to get money, brands, individuals, influencers, content creators, the actual drivers of mainstream adoption will flood into NFTs with far less friction than they did with cryptocurrencies, which are inherently much more financial, much more heady, much more boring. It doesn't take a degree or a ton of research and literature to see a picture, think it's cute, think it's beautiful, see that it's rare and want to own it. It's a very simple process. And people have been collecting things forever. The reality is that this asset class is not like art. It's not like collectibles. It's not like rare coins, like physical coins or stamps. No, this is its own unique asset class. It is like plutonium, and to try to compare it to other things is putting it in a box that it will most certainly explode through with a vengeance. This is not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen, which is why I believe the road is still extremely long for JPEGs. But where I'm extremely excited is to look at NFTs within games. If NFTs that are outside of games with non-utility purposes are maybe 1% through their journey of adoption, I think that the actual gaming assets are probably 0.01% through their journey, meaning 1/100th of 1% through their journey of growth. We haven't even begun. The timeline barely exists. Finding the next mega trend in crypto and allocating before it becomes popular is the way to make outsized gains and to completely crush the market. It is as clear as day to me, based on the Axie hype, that real games that have immersive gameplay are going to completely redefine our digital worlds once they combine with on-chain ownership, with different types of incentive models for token holders. Nothing will ever compare to what is about to happen in gaming and NFTs. Also, L1s, bridges, like there's a ton of areas for infrastructure. But to me, there's nothing quite as exciting as gaming and NFTs because it's so obviously going to happen. It's so blatantly clear. All you have to do is just join in and hold on and do nothing pretty much for the next few years until this stuff takes over. But what you really should be doing is aggressively trying to find all the newest games, playing them, trying to find, scarce sort of ground floor foundational assets like land, like important Genesis sets. Those are the things that I think are going to have, they're going to seem ridiculous. Like, why are you spending this much money on in-game assets or JPEGs or whatever? But the reality is that lack of understanding that most people have is part of the opportunity. It's part of the mispricing of the assets. And if these things do become what I believe they will be, then really the astronomical growth curve is going to mimic that of probably an early Bitcoin buy, like a sub $100 Bitcoin buy. That's what I believe is coming. So as much as I'm super hyped on Cardano and which is going to be the DEX of Cardano, probably a massive opportunity there, whoever does eventually gain that traction. As much as I'm super excited to see, who's going to be the next hot L1 in the room, I believe that the biggest growth will come from the sectors I just explained. I think that that thesis will be proven out in the next probably in the next year or two. We'll see it take place because games are slow and long and take forever, and really getting them to market, getting these AAA game studios to do anything, it takes a long time. So understanding that this will be a slow process and that each big game that gets added to the crypto ecosystem could bring with it hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. I mean, there's over $1 billion+ in different revenue streams for Fortnite each and every year. Imagine the peer-to-peer trading that would happen and the different total values of the economies and what would happen if V-Bucks was a token. Like, all of these things boggle the mind, and that's just one game. So to understand just how big this is, to understand just how big Facebook's introduction or a move into metaverse will be, all these things are almost impossible to quantify given our limited understanding of what happens here. Axie Infinity is a very basic game, and it is done amazingly, but it is just a little symbol, a little shred of proof of what's coming. It's not even an iceberg or the tip of the iceberg here. You can barely even see the iceberg. It's so far away. That's how early we are, and it's quite possibly the biggest opportunity any of us will ever have in our lifetimes. I believe that. I believe that with my heart and soul. If you really don't know what to do here, buy index tokens. Not financial advice, but that's one way to gain access to a wide array of assets. And then if you really want to be sort of like in big blue chip NFTs like a CryptoPunks or Fidenzas or stuff like that, but you don't have the money to get into these blue chip assets or to buy one, which is normal to not have that much money laying around, well, you could buy some fractionalized versions. Go find a fractionalized, a very rare CryptoPunk that's only going to hold and grow in value, in my opinion, long term. Obviously, short term, there could be wild fluctuations. But buying into fractionalized blue chip NFTs is an easy way to ride along with this trend. Buying into indexes of NFT metaverse and gaming projects is another way to ride along with this trend. Buying into picks and shovels play different ecosystem tokens. Those are other ways to ride along with the trend. So there's a lot of ways to gain exposure here. There's a lot of ways to actually get into this without being rich or without spending, $100 grand on a JPEG. Just because other people are doing that doesn't mean that's the only way to play the game. So land in metaverse or land in video games that are powered by NFTs, especially if they're headed towards a full metaverse, different Genesis sets, influential blue chip JPEGs, fractionalized if you can't afford them, and then of course ecosystem tokens in the NFT and gaming space. Very, very easy stuff in my opinion. Those are easy ways that you could even just spray and pray, because I think most of them will probably pump. Not financial advice, just my opinion, just my strategy. I hope this helps you guys. If you got some value out of it, smash that like button. Remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your own hardware wallet. As always, if you guys want this information before anyone else, if you want to know about the games that I'm actually investing into before they come to market, the ones that I've been talking to their teams now for months, the ones that I believe have a chance to be truly disruptive, well, I'm going to be making episodes on them, and those will be some time-sensitive episodes because once the word gets out of some of these high-quality projects, they're going to move fast. So you're definitely going to want to have that bell notification on. So make sure you subscribe and put that bell on, and we'll be bringing you the absolute best information in this industry, bar none. That's my promise to you, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy it. I hope you guys are having a happy and healthy day wherever you are. I'm Elio Trades. You can find me on Twitter at Elio Trades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.